So we have some gem experts and gem enthusiasts coming onto the channel today for a show and tell. They're going to bring us some of their favorite items from their personal collections, and I can't wait to see them. Hey guys, we've got Tom here. He's the Gemstones partner manager at gemstones.com. Tom, Tell us what you do.
Right now, we're facilitating getting the best gemstones put onto gemstones.com for you. It's the future that's coming, and we're excited to bring you the best product that we can get.
Okay, so what I hear, I'm kind of going in blind today.
I have the perfect piece. Great story comes with it, so really excited about it.
Okay, we both grow in nature, one above and one below. One above the ground and one below the ground, maybe?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Okay, so the first thing I noticed was like all the shades of green. Tell us about it.
It's a Selenite grass. So a lot of times when you see Selenite grass, it's really small, spiky pieces that you'll almost see down towards the bottom. Really fine. I saw this one and I'd always wanted Selenite grass blades. When I was looking it up, I only saw 2 pictures of something that was close to what I had. So I was walking through the 22nd Street Gem and Mineral Show.
That's in Tucson.
You have to go through booth by booth. You're going to see a lot of the same stuff, and you're going to wait until something jumps out at you. And this did fit my price point. Bought it without even thinking twice about it. Ran to my wife, and she just stared at me. And I was like, "It's a good price. It fits the boxes." And she said, "Great. How are we going to get it home?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, we flew out here. So how am I going to get this very delicate piece back to Knoxville without losing every single blade?" So we got an empty cold medicine box, filled it with Kleenex. My wife hand carried it through the airport, sat with it on her lap, and we only lost 2 blades.
Nice.
Yeah, so this sits front and center in my cabinet at home.
I love that. Okay, so when you say the blades, do you mean these longer blades?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's called grass, selenite grass.
Yeah, selenite grass.
Resembles grass.
Yeah, but like these fine, longer blades that come out of it, it's kind of unique to this variety of selenite, because a lot of times selenite, you see those big kilogram just wands, as they call them, or even sometimes a selenite egg. So green selenite isn't particularly rare. Selenite grass isn't particularly rare, but these thick blades that come off of it in different directions definitely are.
I was gonna ask about the green because, again, like you've got this kind of lime green, but almost bluish green in the blades. And then down towards the base, you've got a yellowish green, kind of brownish yellow color too.
It's got a lot going on.
It
That's
does.
why, the more you look at it and the more you turn it, you just see different textures and crystal shapes. It's a one-of-a-kind piece.
Yeah, that's super fun.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, so I've talked to some people who aren't in the gem world who are like, what do you do with your gems or specimens? And you're just like, I look at them.
Yeah, I admire them every day.
Stare, and I'm like, they're just so pretty, which sounds kind of weird, but I'm glad to know that I'm not alone.
No, you're definitely not alone. But I also brought something for you for your collection.
Oh.
So a little addition piece. You might already have one, but you don't have one like this.
Okay.
So
oh my
here you
gosh.
go. And everybody goes crazy about the Cookie Monster shape, like agates and stuff. Well, you have a Cookie Monster Detroit agate.
Look at that.
So there you go. That was polished by a friend of mine, and I had it, and I was looking through stuff in my collection, and it had been stuck back in a bag, and I said, you know what, Rebecca needs that for her collection.
Thank you, Tom.
So,
I love that.
Yeah.
I do not have a piece. Tom, thanks so much for being on the show.
It was my pleasure.
Everyone, tell him thank you. Tell him you loved his selenite.
Not for sale.
Not for sale.
No.
Thanks for the selenite grass. That is super fun. And
Absolutely.
for the gift, it's rare that we get gifts on the channel, so that's really special.
I'm going to set a precedent. You're going to start getting gifts.
Yeah, watch out, future guests. Let's see what we have from our next guests. Hey everyone, we've got Brittany on the channel. She's an in-house geologist, and I understand that you have something fun to show.
Maybe a little bit.
Okay, so tell everyone what you do here.
I do a lot of our social media, educating the masses with our lovely gemstone collection, and helping out with like research when it comes to like, hey, what's in this mineral, or like maybe what is this matrix rock, and I just help with a lot of that.
Sharp, pointy, and important in American history. Okay, I think I know what this might be, but let's unveil. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is so fun. Okay, so these are arrowheads.
Yes.
Tell us about the arrowheads.
I actually have some more for you to look at.
Oh dear.
Yes.
My goodness.
This is a collection that both my father and I had been working on for a very long time. If you notice, there's a lot of different kinds of flint here, that not all of it is the same, despite everything pretty much being found in the same relative area. I was only able to really identify one kind of flint, and it's these lighter pieces here, which is known as Logan County chert. Chert and flint are pretty much the same thing. Chert is kind of like lighter in color, and flint's a little darker in color. Both of them are a form of microcrystalline quartz.
Okay.
There's also a lot of different sizes and shapes here. A lot of them are identified by the type of notch that they have.
Notch.
Yes, so let's see a good piece.
Oh, like these things?
Yeah, the very bottom of the arrowhead. So I would say the most common type of notch is the side notch, which I think there's a good piece here, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So with the side notch, when you look at the triangle, it kind of comes very flat at the part, which would be known as the side. There's also, I think it's called a pointed notch, where the triangle, it kind of goes a little bit further down besides like the flat plane. Right here, this part's kind of like broken off, but you can kind of see it right there where it just kind of goes a little bit further down. How this kind of all started is, well, my father had an interest in collecting artifacts, and sometimes he would bring home pieces and show me, and well, I was like, wow, that's really cool. And this piece right here.
Yeah, that definitely caught my eye.
Oh, it's a beauty of a piece. Unfortunately, 7-year-old me really thought this was an arrowhead at the time, but it's not. But it's very close. But I still like to keep it in the collection because this is the first piece that started it for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna ask.
Yes.
Because I was looking at like this and some of the other pieces. What constitutes an arrowhead? Because some of these are not, right?
Well, there's different like types, but pretty much all of these are pieces that at least had been worked on.
Got it. Okay, so by worked on you mean they're artifacts from Native Americans and they were at least used for something.
Yes.
And this is all flint. Just
Flint and
types.
chert. Yep, all different types.
Brittany, thank you so much for bringing this special collection. Really fun to get to do with your dad and to collect all different types and to have a bit of history with you. So thank you so much. Everyone tell Brittany thank you. Tell her how much you love this collection, and we'll see what's next. Hey guys, we've got Christy here. We're going to do a little bit of a show and tell with her. But first, Christy, tell us what you do.
Okay, well, I'm a host at JTV and recently started a new show with another host, Scott, and it's our Gem Discoveries by gemstones.com.
Everything that you guys love about learning about gemstones, hearing about the science, the history, where to buy them. Christy has a show every Monday at noon on JTV, and you can watch it also on our gemstones.com Facebook page. There's a clue, and this is from your personal collection.
It is.
Okay. As blue as the sea, and it matches my eyes. Okay, so blue. It's something blue. So let's see. Oh my gosh. We've got big gems and jewelry. Look at that.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so Aquamarine.
Uh-huh.
Love that.
Of course.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so tell us about these.
Okay, so I actually collected these particular gemstones. George, who's one of our buyers here at JTV, and he brought in a huge buy from Brazil. And this was a part of that buy, and I bought them in mind of making a jewelry collection for myself. And Aquamarine is my birthstone, so it has a special place in my heart.
So there are a few blue gemstones that have this kind of like saturation and hue. There's blue topaz, there's aquamarine, blue zircon.
There you go.
And these are all really clean stones, but this one had very subtle inclusions that caught my eye that gave away the identity. This has an inclusion called rain, which is typical of aquamarine, which is a type of beryl, so a sister to morganite, heliodor, emerald. And rain is a series of hollow growth tubes, and they kind of run in parallel with one another. And if you see that, it's a pretty good indicator that you've got aquamarine there. Okay, so you bought the loose stones.
Yes.
They were all faceted already?
Yes.
Okay. And so then, did you design the jewelry?
I did.
Oh my gosh, because let me tell you, there's a lot of detail on these pieces. So tell us about that.
Okay, so I wanted something that was, a little more detailed. It has kind of more of a vintage, antique style. I love heirloom pieces of jewelry. Those are kind of some of my favorites. So I wanted to give that look and feel. And then just, of course, make it classic and, just something really, really special.
That is super special. You guys ask us a lot, what do you do with your loose gemstones? There are some that we love to just keep and look at, and some that are perfect in jewelry. I guess any of them can be perfect in jewelry, but this is a great example of how a love of a gemstone can be translated to a suite of jewelry. So that is so cool.
Yeah, when I bought these loose, I didn't have a design in mind or anything. And actually, I didn't even create these until probably maybe 5 or 6 years later.
Okay.
So, I worked with a designer and, just kind of described some things that I liked. And, of course, he had a copy of all the shapes and the sizes. So he just started sending me ideas of sketches. And we tweaked a few things here and there. And then, voila, the collection was made.
I love that. I think that is so unique. The funny thing is, they'll become heirloom pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you like the vintage style, but it's the perfect thing to pass on to your kids.
Oh, absolutely. And that's kind of what I had in mind, is like one day being able to, pass these along to, I've got 2 girls.
They'll fight over them.
I know, right? Or maybe to my granddaughter. I don't know. We'll see. But I kind of wanted to build a collection that I could pass along to my family.
Christy, thanks so much for being here and sharing this collection with us.
So welcome. This was fun.
Really fun. Really a treat. And let's see what we have next. Okay, so Caleb, you've been on the channel before. You're a geologist here. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I am a geologist here, and I run our advanced testing lab. And I do things like identify what materials are, such as what gemstones are, any treatments that might be been done to them. Generally just have a fun time getting to ID stones and learn about all the different kinds of gemstones that we sell and that are out there.
I'm told there's a clue. This is evidence of the Earth before it had oxygen. Okay, well, oxygen is a pretty important element to living things, so I'm very intrigued by this. Oh, cool. Okay, so there are areas of opacity and transparency, translucency. It's a beautiful, like, brownish, goldish, reddish, like, swirled piece. And there's like maybe some chatoyancy in there.
So what this is, it is called banded tiger iron. It's a form of rock called a banded iron formation. So the chatoyancy you're seeing there is actually tiger's eye.
So I'm assuming this is a very old piece.
Yes, this is one of the oldest rocks that I own. It is around 3.7 billion years old.
That's amazing. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, tell us how you got this, what drew you to it, aside from the obvious, the story.
Yeah, so this is actually one of the first specimens I bought after getting my geology degree. When I was in college, I really liked to only collect rocks that I found myself in the field. And a lot of geologists like that too, because you have that shared experience to where, you climb that mountain, you went in that cave, you collected that rock yourself and you have that experience. So I didn't necessarily like to purchase rocks, but I did a research paper on banded iron formations in college, and I was really fascinated by them. And they're only found in a few places in the world, so I saw this in a store and I was like, I'm never probably ever going to go to a location where I will be able to get this myself, so I decided to buy it. There are some stones you literally will never be able to collect in the field, and if you want to own them, you kind of have to buy them.
So where is this usually found?
Banded iron formations are found throughout the world. There is a pretty large deposit in Michigan, but they do not have the tiger's eye. The tiger iron is only found in Australia, but I could be wrong on that. There might be a couple of other localities, but as far as I know, it's only found in Australia. So one of the reasons why I really like this specific rock is because it represents a time period in Earth's history where we had no oxygen. So banded iron formations are actually one of the forms of evidence used to interpret the before and after of this event called the Great Oxidation Event. The red there, that is the hematite, and then there's the cat's eye, and then there is actually some cherty quartz in the black, and then also the magnetite. There is iron and oxygen mostly within this stone. And I guess you have the fibers of the tiger's eye, which is an amphibole.
Goodness. Oh, look at all those colors there.
I accidentally broke it once.
Oh, sad. Well, less pressure for me. So from a distance, it looks like grayish, but when you look close, there are so many colors in this. How much do you know about the rock?
So this is a rock that I collected myself during my field geology course. It came from the Stillwater layered mafic intrusion, which is a lot of layers of rock that formed out of a very homogeneous magma, and it's actually a very good example in geology of something called the Bowen's reaction series, where elements that combine easily combine first, and so on. They make simplified minerals first, like olivine, and then it progresses to things like pyroxene, and then amphiboles, and then so on, and then finally like quartz at the top. So this is from the chromatite layer. So this was actually on the outside of a platinum mine at the very top of this mountain. And all around this rock is chromatite, which is a chromium oxide rock. And I assumed when I picked this up that it was also a form of chromite or chromatite. So chromatite is just a rock that has majority of the mineral chromite in it with some other stuff mixed in. This rock has always been a mystery to me because it has been through so much. Do you see how it's very like smooth?
Yes.
So this is actually a structural pattern of rock that's it's called slick and slide. Have you ever?
No, I just thought it was slip and slide.
Yeah, I know, right? What this is where the rock has literally been in a fault. And this pattern, this smoothness is from the friction of being in that fault over time. Geologists can kind of tell the direction that this fault was moving when this rock got caught in it. So
that's cool.
So this rock basically solidified out of the magma and then was caught in a fault, and it was also probably metamorphosed at some point. So it's been through a lot, and then I broke it. Several million years later, I broke it. Like I said, I originally thought this was a chromatite, but recently I was like, well, I'm bringing it in for you too. I should probably find out what it is in the lab. Oh, you said you found the metallic part?
I sure did.
So originally I thought that the metallic part was bronzite, which is a cumulate that's found kind of in the layer above the chromatite layer, and there's actually some mixed in with there is some actual bronzite in this, but it's not the metallic part. So it comes back to me bringing it into the lab to try to figure out what it is before this video, because I've never really fully understood this rock, and turns out I still don't fully understand it because taking it to the lab just created more questions for me. There's not a whole lot of chrome in this piece, so it's not a chromatite. It's mostly iron, and come to find out after doing some research, it's probably part of this immiscible layer that occurs in the chromite area that are related to massive sulfide rocks. So it's mostly iron sulfide rocks.
Okay.
And can you tell me what a
pyrite?
Yes, exactly. So that shiny gold part is actually pyrite.
Caleb, thanks so much for being here. We love to learn about geology and what you do here, and thank you so much for bringing these pieces for show and tell.
You're welcome. It's been a fun time.
Yeah. So we saw lots of cool things today. If you want to see some more cool things, go to our website, gemstones.com, where you can learn about all the gemstones you ever wish to know about. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Thanks for watching.